Welcome to Tavern Talk. We are a full spoiler live talk show based on the epic fantasy series Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Joining me, as always, is actor extraordinaire Jansen Lashley Haynes and Beth Doman. She, her awesome sauce. Brother Dan's having technical problems, but he will be here. Oh, and there he is. And see, Brother Dan and I, we need your guys' help in chat. Our teams took major losses. Week 2 is rough for us. So yeah, we're oh, come on now.
What are you guys talking about?
The canonical
sports ball stuff, yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Pigskin. We're talking pigskin. We're talking running the rock.
It's Sunday.
Through the A-gap.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, yeah,
Hey,
the Browns won. Jansen's in a good mood. Jansen, did you bet on them to win?
I am not going to bet on my beloved Cleveland Browns anymore. Ever since they have done the things that they have done recently, I am just going to hope for wins and no losses.
Okay.
Well,
and
speaking
by the
of Browns, I mean,
Shadow
nice. Dogs.
Yeah, so, fascinating how few people are actually watching right now. It must be that no one fucking likes the Shaido. They're like, who wants to talk about them? But fear not.
Oh, Ryan.
Fucking, yeah, it's worth it.
Thank you so much, Matt Stagger. Your support is always loved, and I write it on bathroom walls. I'm like, Matt Stagger's a cool guy. Like, that's my graffiti. Ryan, you gonna rap?
Nope. All right. All right. Thank you, Matt Stagger. And thank you for everyone to be here. Yeah. What I was about to say is there's so much to glean from a conversation like this. We got quotes from the novels.
Ryan, I think we're tensing out.
What's that?
I throw the beat back up.
Okay.
I think we're contractually obligated.
Okay.
It's $20, Ryan. We gotta just. Where was it? All right. Yo, we're talking about the Shaido. They are ho. I don't know where they go. They don't flow with us. They are over there. Altair, Dar, yo, that's how they roll.
Like the wind blows. Fuck the Shaidos.
Melindra, ho! Matt Stagger is not the Shaido.
Oh no, your own dog's telling you to stop.
Hey, ho!
That's amazing.
All right. Thank you, Matt
The
Stagger.
poor dog's ears.
No, someone walking within a 700-yard radius. My dog.
It's a beagle too, so it smells everything.
All right. Yeah.
Well done, Dan. Well done.
Well, we had to do it.
All right, yeah. So like I was saying, we have Wadahawk Aussie and Noman Garden have helped gather book quotes from the companion, and we will be sprinkling those throughout the discussion. Interesting thing about the Shaido, most information we have about them are just like comments by other people. We don't have a lot of expository passages explaining the history. We don't have any real flashbacks in columns or really it's just like everyone talking about them. And
how awesome would a Culloden POV would have been?
Yeah, that would have been actually. But we did have one shot.
Jansen, your audio is cutting out, and Dan, you're frozen.
Dan, you free?
I am? Oh no.
Yes, and you sound like a robot. Arigato, Mr. Donato.
All right. Well,
How is my sound now?
How now, Brown? Sounds
Cow?
great. Cow. How now, Brown? Now sounds now.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, we did have one POV of a Shaido, the Spanish POV. And that POV actually gave a lot of information.
Wait, who was it? It was
You're talking about the clan leader whose wife and he went through the Narbaha portals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they got separated by the rest of their from the rest of their sept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had the last Mohican moment, and he's like, "Whatever may occur, I will find you."
And
then he went off, and then he died.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you cannot trivialize a Madeline Stowe and Daniel Day-Lewis moment like that. You absolutely cannot. You cannot. And
That
then
was
you add
honorific.
Clannad into that with the soundtrack, the song from the soundtrack. One of the best one of my favorite movie moments of all time. Just saying, you cannot trivialize Madeline Stowe and Daniel Day-Lewis and Les.
Whatever occurs.
Just him running through the river like he did, I would have snapped an ankle. Fast, boom,
and he
3
slipped
steps.
through rocks. Moss. And cold. Your socks are super soggy after they're all squish.
Those, Dan, your jacket. Yeah, speaking of squishy, your internet's all squishy.
All right, I'll be back. Let me see if I can. I'll be back.
All right, tell the dog to fix the internet. All right, well, let's start. Now, again, here is a Matt POV. I'll just read this real quick. What about the Shaido? Matt wished he had not cracked his teeth when they all looked at him. Maybe they had not even realized he was there until then. Still, he might as well say it. I know you don't like them, but if you think there's really any chance of a bigger attack, wouldn't it be better to have them in here than outside? Ruark grunted. From him, that equaled a curse for most men. I would not bring near a 1,000 Shaido inside cold rocks if Grass Burner were coming. I could not in any case. Couladin and the Shaido folded their tents at nightfall. We are well rid of them. I sent runners to make sure they leave Tardad land without taking a few goats or sheep with them. So, just, example of their outcast nature. Jansen, Beth, when I was thinking about this as a topic, I was hoping to find some sort of reason why we could point to why the Shaido are so absolutely different than all the other Aiel. I was having a hard time coming up with one. Can you think of some narrative arc or some historical event that made them branch off in a way?
Well, I think their reputation as the Shaido is kind of spoken about several times, when Avienda is kind of tutoring Rand, she gives him some explanation about how the Shaido, they steal goats, they do they're not honorable like the other clans are. So I think there's just this stigma that's attached to the Shaido. If I remember correctly, it's kind of talked about when they're talking about maidens of the spears are spear sisters first. It doesn't matter what sept they're from or what clan they're from, and because there were members of the Shaido that were part of his guard. So never mind that the only one that we ever get to know ends up being a dark friend, but which kind of says a lot. But I just think it's generally known throughout the Aiel that they don't have a lot of honor.
Yeah, so here's speaking of Avienda. Dan, you want to give me an Avienda?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me your Avienda.
Okay.
I know you've been practicing.
You are a fool. No, I'm just kidding. All right. You are a fool, Avienda muttered. That had nothing to do with Giotto. Couladin tries to behave as a clan chief. Ruark cannot allow that unless he has gone to Ruidian. The Shaido would steal bones from a dog. They would steal the bones and the dog. Yet they deserve a true chief. All right, so let's get into this just a tiny bit. This is a time of change throughout the world, right? I mean, even within the Aiel. Couladin was a part of this wave of change, and yet his change wasn't necessarily honored the way that Rand's was, to a certain degree. Is that arguable?
Yeah. But we know pretty much the biggest problem with what Couladin and what Couladin was. Because the book doesn't say at all that he was a dark friend or anything. Now, in the books, we did have a few encounters with people who weren't quote unquote dark friends, but still worked with people from the shadow, or tried to do business with people in the shadow, or got something. Because it was like Culloden got a lot of things from Asmodean, pretty much tattoos, which wrong thing. But what did Asmodean get for it other than distraction and to get the I think that Couladin, they said it from the very beginning, flawed from within. That's what Bear said to him. And he said that it was either Bear or Thomas who said it, but he said that if his brother Muradin didn't make it back from Rhuidean, he would go.
Right. And do we have confirmation that Couladin never went to Rhuidean?
No, he never went.
Well, but that's confirmed?
Well,
Yeah.
The last thing we heard Rand and Rand's POV say to himself was, by this time, maybe even he believed.
No, my thought that he went and then Asmodean put the dragon on his arm and he's like, look, fucking A, look at
No, because remember when Rand and them got to Rhuidean, the wise ones turned Couladin away because he wanted to fight Rand, and the wise ones turned Couladin away, and then the Shaido left Rhuidean and started moving toward Al-Kardal.
But
he never went into Rhuidean.
He never got permission to go.
I mean, if he did off book or something go to Rhuidean, we know for a fact he didn't go through them.
He didn't go through them.
He didn't go through them because he didn't know the truth.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't think he did either.
I think what if he was trying to protect his culture? He knew the truth.
No.
He's like, he's saying lies.
His brother was in the glass columns while Rand was going through them. That's the whole reason why they were there. Because was it Muradin was his name?
Slowly tearing his eyes out.
The name was because the other clan chief, Solodric died. So that's why they were all there for Muradin.
So I thought maybe there was in my readings, it's not clear that he never went, as far as I'm concerned. He does counter Rand, true. And what he is saying is wrong, true. That doesn't prove that he didn't go.
I don't think he went. He wouldn't have had the time to go.
They also alluded to the fact that he didn't go. Rand, they did. And, like they did a couple of other times because he didn't. And even at Al-Kardal, at the Golden Bowl, when Rand was declared the Kara Khan, his disgust and like pissed offness, like he screamed at Rand, calling him a liar. That we've always been warriors from the beginning of time. And
he was in the room.
And he had, and, like he had to know that if he, when the clan chiefs said Randall Thor, Couladin stepped up thinking that they were about to pronounce his death. And they said he was the Kara Khan, and all hell broke.
So with Couladin, we refer to him as the Shaido. He's also Black Eyes, and I don't know why we don't refer to that's his fighting clan, like the Maidens. I mean, we refer to people, if you're a maiden, you're a maiden.
Because he was no longer acting as a member of the society that he was affiliated with. He was acting as in the capacity of a clan chief. You don't ever hear Ruark. You hear Ruark as clan chief of the Taradad-Aiel. You don't hear that he is a member of his society. I mean, you do in passing, but he doesn't identify himself as that way. When you're leading a clan, you're the leader of the clan. You're not. Does that make sense? And you're all pixelated again, Brian. I mean, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, should I just go restart my internet? My internet connection's very poor right now, Ryan.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's just gonna keep happening, yeah, might as
I'll
well
give it a shot. All right.
jump on your
Sorry,
phone if it takes too long or something too.
Well, all right. Good luck, me.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Were the Shaido more susceptible to like becoming dark friends? They're like more dark friends per capita.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I actually think that they were too stubborn for that as well. They wanted to kill Kadir too. Samit. I mean, not Kadir. What was his name? What name did Samael take?
Oh,
I know that Grendel was Macia.
yeah.
Kadar.
I don't remember the name of
Kadar had
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Kadar. Yeah, I think it was Kadar, something like that. But yeah, and they wanted to Savannah wanted to kill him too, or put him in black. And I think that like the only other group, I've talked about this before, the only other group in the books that were given a disdain as a whole like this were the Coffin or the Coplans and the Congers. Like,
I love this. Yeah.
they had, in the Emmons Field, they had stains. That's Copland talk. You're talking like a Conger. Like a Conger talking like a Copland. What do you expect? They had all those sayings about that group, that family. And they also said that they were from Devon Ride all through the two rivers, all known as slackers and whiners and thieves and things like that. They were all known as that. And still yet, they were still accepted into the community. Like Days Conger ended up being the wisdom. Jory Conger ended up being one of Perrin's best archers, even though he died. But and the Shaido, it's weird. They're the same way because they were a part of the Aiel, and still because of what the Jin Aiel did and Jei Cho, Honor and Obligation, they had this bonding cord through all the sets of the Aiel. And they tapped the Shaido into that, even though they had all these sayings about the Shaido, and Shaido had a stigma to them.
Yeah.
They deserved one.
Yeah, to that, here's an example. Here's a quote. She is the one who is overproud, Birgit Trahalian. Avienda grumbled, as proud as the Shaido with one goat.
Nynaeve when Nynaeve laying at Chicken Fork, I believe.
That's a great line. Yeah, and I have tons of just people just berating the Shaido over and over again. So who is it? Who I'm trying to remember the name. There's a wise one who I think, might be like a positive like a Shaido. Like who's the one who is it? Thorava?
Thorava was the power hungry one who ended up
pretty terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, she was
terrifying.
She was as tall as most.
There was the Shaido wise one that they all murdered because she didn't want to go forward with the plan at Dumais Wells.
Yes.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she was the one that didn't even want the man to be a wise one in the first place.
Right. Isn't she the scene? Thank you. Begin with a D.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, the same.
All right, so was Thorava a dark friend?
No.
Thorava
was just power hungry.
Okay, but was Thorava given like some sort of terangrial from a Forsaken?
No.
Yeah, they were given the traveling boxes.
They were traveling boxes, but Savannah was also given an oath rod. And when she tried to distract all the Shaido wise ones with a problem that the brotherless had with getting the fifth. But the Shaido Wise Ones handled that problem very quickly and stumbled upon Savannah trying to get Galena to swear to her on that oath rod. And Tharava said, don't just swear to her, swear to me too. So it was, that is one. And Tharava did have that in her possession. She did have an oath rod in her possession. And she still has it in her possession all the way through the end of the book. We see her at the very end with Galena as her slave and her with the oath rod and being told you will never touch this again. And they start loading Galena's back full of supplies and start running towards the threefold land.
So here,
Yeah,
This
Ryan,
is-
that last quote real fast
Yeah.
that you had put up about the Shaido with the one goat.
Yeah.
Man, are the Shaido like the Congers and Coplins?
you missed it. That's
yeah.
exactly what Jansen just said.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I didn't hear that.
And they're just pretty much mistrusted. And there's even references to both of them when Egwene first sees Couladin. And what is it? Shadow Rising, when they first land in Roydion, and they're on Shandar, and they're looking. She sees Couladin and says he has the same kind of mouth and same smugness that the Coplins and the Conquerors.
Yeah, you see. All right.
So I think they were the ideal version of that. The ideal version. Very, very dangerous. They were Aiel. And up until Couladin, they did follow G.E.T.O. to a point, but I think they walked the line very much. I think they walked the line. And at the end, it's not Tharava who is in charge of all the shots. She's still the shot, but the clan chief is a Benduin who has been given permission to go to Roydion. He is already on his way there at the end of when we see them at the end of the Shaido.
What?
So they have a clan chief.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I mean, I guess I'm a little tied up in the fact that that change was necessary. The Shaido. I mean, did the Shaido provide anything positive with the Aiel?
One thing that they did provide was they were a forge for Perrin. They provided a necessary thing he needed to get better with leadership, to understand how working with people, to understand his own life, his own, deficiency. Even after all of this happened, one of the things that he said to Tom asked him after all of these things that Perrin had gone through, he said, "What had happened to you?" And Perrin said he had gone through the forge. So they were definitely one of the things that helped forge Perrin, the person that he needed. So that is, and they were also the same thing for Rand and Matt as well. Even before Perrin, they helped Rand with his as his first shot at being a general, try it. And they helped Matt start the band with the Red Hand. So they did with the second Aiel. They did have a function in the books, and they also provided a lot of for killing. A tremendous amount of fun. They died by the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
thing, I believe that they were punished, and this is a very interesting way to look at it, though. But them being Aiel, right? So them not participating at all in the last battle has got to be the highest dishonor. Correct?
Well, maybe they were just restarting the way of the leaf right then.
Maybe, but
I'm
even
just
the
kidding.
other Aiel, that'll go down in history as the
Right.
clan wasn't there. Like
Yeah.
that, there's no way that they could ever, make that back. So they are going to be the clan that is stuck in the waste. And as I do suspect that they are the Aiel that we
So
see.
if let's address, I guess, and Ryan, you're muted. I'm not sure if you know that. So let's address the fact that there was Forsaken involvement within this whole situation, and how can we say that someone like Couladin or Savannah, Theraba, I guess, even are victims?
Oh, well, they were also some of the most naive people. They didn't believe anything if you put it in their face sometimes.
So, I had put out into our Discord channel a couple days before our show, asking people's opinions about the Shaido, and had some fun discussions. I wanted to bring up what our friend Sulin had pointed out, and I think I'm finding that I'm resonating more and more with this notion. So she says, what strikes me most is that the only dark friend Aiel we are deliberately made aware of is Shaido, and we don't seem to find a single redeeming one apart from the dark friend. It's a good example of not all evil is dark, one evil, but I would have liked to have seen at least one conflicted Shaido.
We
And
did. We
What's
did.
that?
She was murdered.
We saw more than WAP too.
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot. She hesitated many times when she was working with horses. She was the head of the maiden. I forgot she was in such a small.
Oh man, Jansen, your audio is getting almost like worse and worse. I don't know what's going on. It's like stuttering it out. But yeah, okay, so yeah, so there is that one, and to that point, they did murder her, so that was not acceptable. I do feel like they're not necessary, like and then she also points out that she feels like it's just a missed opportunity, and I feel that way too. There's no redemption arc for the Shaido. There's no they're just so uniformly one way. And
Wouldn't it be awesome if Roland
was the
was
Shaido?
Shaido instead of Brotherless?
Yes.
Then we'd have gotten some, like, a sympathetic face to the movement. We would have gotten someone, and even if he's like, yeah, I want to split, these guys suck, we could have had that. We could have had someone who wasn't just all I'm gonna whip you, I'm gonna get out naked, go. I don't know.
They were pretty bad.
But if Roland was
Yeah.
Shaido, I think that would have been cool.
And also, I was thinking today that it might have been more interesting to have like Fail be captured just by like normal Aiel, not bad guy Aiel. They don't have to be bad guys. They're just normal Aiel that just happen to swoop her up, and Perrin just happened to fucking have to get in there and kill some Aiel to get her back. Like,
well, the thing is that she would never be captured because real Aiel don't inflict Giotto
upon sweet kitten.
As soon as they all would have found out that she was married to the Kara Khan's near brother, they would have let her go immediately.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. There is one what's her name? There is one Shaido who we kind of do like a bit.
I know this suspense is killing me.
All right, no,
I can't think
am I
of
there?
one. You're
Am I
back.
there? All right, Melindra. So Melindra is embarrassed that she is of the Shaido, but she is of the Shaido. She's also a dark friend, but
Matt's lover and a
overall badass.
mole for Sam. So we know that she was directly in contact with Sam. Sam knows who Matt Cawthon is very well. He demonstrated that. And she tried to stab him with a dagger with golden bleed and jade. Which Lord Bren.
She could have killed him before.
I think she could have too. She had plenty of opportunities, but I think that she was given orders.
Yeah.
Or just
I think she developed feelings for Matt.
Yeah,
I
Matt's
think
just like really good in bed.
Yeah, I think she enjoyed Matt's company and she put off doing what she could as long as she could. But then when the Trollocs raided that hold that they were staying at, that's when, like she didn't really have a choice. She was like, okay, this is the signal. This is what we got to do. Yeah. So, I mean, she pledged herself to the dark before she met Matt Cawthon, and she was bound to her oath as a dark friend. And
we do know when those dark hounds, I think it was Freudian, and they split up, and then some went to go attack Matt and get him. Mm-hmm. We know that Melindra tried to kill them too. She was stabbing with them in the head with her spear. So, maybe that was a threat, a warning from the Dark One to her. Who knows? Get rid of this dude. But yeah. But she is probably the most likable Shaido.
I think by far. Every other Shaido makes what's her name? That old Aes Sedai lady. I can't. The name escapes me. Makes her look like a milquetoast.
Helena?
No, the old one. The other one.
I did like reading about Savannah. I thought she was a funny, a quirky wild card to throw into the books. And
Catswing, yeah. Thanks, Uber. God dang.
She became so not Aiel that it was humorous because she everything that she did, she was trying to conform to the way that everyone in the Westlands, the nobles and the royalty lived. That's how she wanted to live. She even wanted to change a lot of the Aiel's custom, like having children take your position. Like Elaine did. She wanted to incorporate that into the Aiel under her, obviously. But yeah, the Shaido were so flawed and they were so naive. Like the very fact that Savannah believed to the very end that she was married should have told you she was like not the smartest person.
Right. All right. So I'm trying to look at the Shaido through empathetic lens. I'm seeing them that they were in flux. They needed a clan chief. His brother had just died. Couladin and he sees this wetlander come in who he thinks is very dangerous to his culture, right? I feel like his beliefs are very sincere. I think that he's trying to rally against a usurper and an oppressor to a certain degree. Here comes Montezuma with his, Wetlander ways. And he's like,
and
and
he's
he,
totally
yeah.
being influenced by Forsaken. And someone said earlier in chat that he might have been just convinced by Samael, was it? Yeah, no, Asmo, that he had went to the columns even when he didn't. Asmodean could have just put that thought into his brain.
He also heard a rumor in Emery's stand that Rand had his followers eating cats,
Rand had his followers what?
eating cats and dogs.
Yeah. They're eating the pets for food.
They're eating the
I'm
dogs. But no, all of this is valid, though,
That was
guys.
funny.
All of this is valid. Is that we don't know what corruption was actually being partaken. There were 2 Forsaken there.
Yeah, I mean, they had what? They had more. How many Forsaken touched the Shaido? 4 more? Yeah, I think it was 4.
I know of at least 3. There were 2 in the wagon, and what's his name?
Yeah, there were 4. You're right, 4. At least, maybe even 5. If no, 4, because Grendel was with Samael, and then Lanfear.
So not only does this indicate a high focus for the dark side, it also indicates that there was all kinds of fuckery that could have been going on. And I don't think that Couladin was a dark friend. I think he was manipulated by things going around him.
I agree with you.
I agree. I don't think Couladin is a dark friend.
Yeah,
I don't think that either.
We should have sympathy for him. We don't know how much his brain was scrambled by things.
I don't think we should have sympathy for him.
Well,
He declared war. He led an entire sept of the Aiel against Kyrian and murdered hundreds and thousands of innocent people. There's nothing that garners sympathy to somebody.
Well, let me ask you. Did he? So as the pattern spits out false dragons,
yeah,
could the pattern spit out a false Karakarn?
No, because he was deliberately utilized by the Forsaken. He was spit out by the pattern. Yeah. He was used convinced by the Forsaken. Because by Asmodean. He was and Lanfear. Right. Like literally, like Asmodean and Lanfear were directly involved with setting him up. And I mean, he was power hungry. He was pissed off that his brother died and that Rand came out and his brother didn't. And he was lusting after Savannah, who is the most power hungry character in the entire book. So
have bosoms. I mean, let's be clear.
All right.
Her bosoms are defined several times with beads.
Basically, Couladin's the Michael Cohen.
What?
Don't feel sorry for Couladin, though. Couladin was a capable Aiel warrior who was power hungry and under the manipulation of more than one Forsaken and a power hungry woman who pretended to be in love with him for the means to get her own power. But don't feel sorry for him.
1v1, no power usage, no one power, no true power. Couladin kicks Rand's ass.
No
except Matt kicked Couladin's ass.
Books, yeah.
Well, Matt could beat Rand too.
Matt could beat Rand up.
Well, that's true too. That's fair. That's fair.
I think Couladin could take Rand.
I mean, but
people in the book beat Matt.
All right.
That's Brian. I think that's our poll for tonight.
Could
Couladin beat up Rand? Yes or no?
Okay.
1v1, no power.
All right. I've been trying to think of an angle we could discuss here, and this is interesting. I don't know why it looks like that. Anyway, so even I might have danced the spears with the Shaido if the Wise One had not made everyone who crossed the Dragon Wall swear water oath to treat any Aiel as the same society on this side of the mountains, even sneaking Shaido. He shrugged slightly. You see, it's not easy, even for me. I didn't really. I just wanted to talk about the implications of that decision. That's really obviously it wasn't, followed by the Shaido. Um, but is this kind of an example where honor or like can backfire? Like that seems like a
Oh, it did with the Aiel all the time.
yeah, yeah.
We're going back and forth through all of Rand's camp all the time. It's in tons of POVs with Egwene where Egwene got punished for being rude to Savannah a couple times, and they were the biggest dupes of the book.
Rand, Glenn says Rand. Aussie says I forgot the pattern itself. So yeah, maybe Rand would win, but I think Couladin's got skills. Go on.
Yeah, Couladin. The first thing that Lan said to Rand about Couladin, beware of Couladin. Ambition burns in his belly, and he'll burn the world for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but
didn't Couladin throw a spear at Rand and miss?
Yeah,
Couladin sucks. Yeah, Couladin got all rage, and he just didn't he throw something at Rand and miss? Yeah, I don't think.
No, Rand stopped it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
It was aimed right for him.
Ace and the Wise Ones who stopped it, and
someone stopped it.
And even Couladin talks about it at El Cardal, saying the Wise Men's help kept me from.
I had him right there. But
I still have some pity for the Shaido. I see that when the Aiel were in the throes of being broken, the brotherless was a temporary solution, and it looked like whatever the camp was that was going on, where Fael and was it Meridon?
Yeah,
was at least a gathering point of some sort that all these other clans were going to start kind of go and at least try to rebuild. I don't know, man. I think the Shaido were necessary.
I think you're trying really hard to find a redeemable quality for a society that was set up on purpose to be pretty irredeemable.
But I think they were necessary. How's that?
No, they're necessary. Yes, they're necessary, but that doesn't mean that they're good.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there could be good people within it, but they can definitely.
How am I doing, Beth? Am I getting anything? Any?
No. You're kicking a dead horse. It's this is what this conversation is kind of like a struggle for me because they are just one trick ponies. They just suck. And then, like, each character has a new way of sucking. And, like, Savannah is so bad. Like, someone even in Discord said they felt bad for Galena, which is hard to do. But she just, right? Everyone is just really bad. And there is no kind of, like, redemption arc for them. There's no one even seems like trying if you even speak up a little bit.
You were saying?
There's actually a little more for though. The biggest thing about the Shaido are their futures.
Are there what?
Their futures. They're not done. They're still part of this story.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah. Is there room for redemption?
Well,
yeah, of course.
All of their wise ones are enslaved right now with Shanshan.
Awesome.
So a ton of their warriors are Dako Vale right now that Piran suspects in a year and a day are going to be leaving, which I believe is the reason why they start a war with, I believe when they do that, the Shanshan declare that all of them are whatever and should be killed on sight or not be able to gather within three of them are together will kill you, like things like that. And that's what Navienda saw in the future of the Aiel.
Uh-huh.
I
A
believe,
possible future.
well, in one of the, it is a possible future, but
Probable.
know that all the other sets and clans from the Aiel outside of Royden are going to know very soon that they're not all going back.
Well, let's, if we can, let me talk about possible changes that the Shaido have created or encouraged. Has Giotto changed within the Aiel, do you think?
Not fundamentally, no.
I don't think.
Well, we see that they've dropped the way. I mean, no, I mean,
but not by. Do you think? Are you saying that the Giotto changed because the Shadow are just being bitches about it, or is it like other things have happened? Like,
well, because kind of because the Shaido are being bitches about it, so that this is kind of what they're doing, and all these other Shaido are going to be like, or Aiel in general are like, well, we don't really like it, but just kind of get used to it.
All right, so it's like Trump's China tariffs, and then how Biden kept them, but they just keep complaining about it.
They're eating cats. They're eating dogs.
But
no. Go ahead.
What I think that as far as you're asking, what are some of the things like the ripples that came from the Shaido? If the Shaido wouldn't have made the second Aiel War, which some of the Carrion are calling it now, they wouldn't have had a bunch of the younger nobility throughout all of Carrion start their own societies, other than just Chaffael that decided to go with Piran and all of them. They have a lot of younger men and women in Carrion who are trying to emulate them.
Right.
But they are not seeing it the way completely that Ruark or some of the other Aiels did. But there are a lot of Aiel trying to help them work it out. So they have a huge ripple effect throughout the books. The Aiel in general.
Right. I mean, and Giotto itself is a bit wobbly. Because it is a personal, it involves your own personal feelings, right? And so if you don't think you have toe, then you don't. Someone can give you G. Someone can treat you as if you have no G, but only you can say you have toe, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Because yes, only you can say that.
So let's look at this. So without the Shaido, thank you, Uber Spearmint. Without the Shaido, how long would it have taken to get Matt in the reins of leading them in battle and starting the Battle of the Red Hand?
Probably because they're too.
And she goes on, and how long would Rand need to stay in the waste to get the Aiel moving? Very good point. I love that second point even more.
Yeah.
Because they were the ones that took off. And he's like, well, shit, we all got to go. We got to go. And everyone's like, okay, well, all right. Yeah, let's go. Beth, what do you think about that?
I think the pattern would have found a way to pull Matt as Prince of Battles regardless. I think that it was very convenient that Couladin was sieging Kyrian. Because I mean, if you remember the fact Matt was trying to get away, that's like the whole thing was like he was leaving. He had packed up all of his stuff and he was heading out of Kyrian. And then every time he turned a corner, there were some Kyrian soldiers, or there were some Terran soldiers, or you know what I mean? So he like ended up that's how the little band or the Band of the Redhead started, right? Because these Talmanis and all of those folks.
Like, just when you think you're gone.
But let's talk on this point. What would the IAL have been so eager to leave the waste with Rand had the Shaido not been a catalyst?
Yes, they would have gone wherever the car comes.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
All of them?
Anywhere.
Well, all of them didn't go.
But lots.
I mean, you had hundreds of thousands of Aiel claim themselves as brotherless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
sounds nice.
Follow wherever you lead.
How dare you? How do you like it now, Ryan? I'm back.
So what's the significance between dogs and Aiel?
What?
Well, like I have like a million quotes, and they're all just like calling the Shaido fucking bunch of dogs, like scoundrel dogs, and you know, and then there's like whole seps named after dogs. I don't know. Are there dogs in the desert I don't know about?
There are dogs in the desert, but I don't know if they're specifically in Ranland. But wild dogs,
I mean, they could be like dingoes.
yeah, there's dingoes.
Yeah, that ain't a dog. That's a
Dingoes are dogs.
Yeah.
No.
Would they call them dog? Would the IO call a dingo a dog?
Dude,
Right? That's a really good point. How do they even know what dogs are?
I know the answer to this actually.
Sorry,
Dingoes
Jansen.
brought to Australia, let loose, and became pet a couple hundred years ago. They were domestic. They were.
But they don't call them. They don't say, "Oh, there was a dog in my backyard."
No,
referring to a dingo.
Canine.
I'm just saying that there are canines that can live in desert-like climates. Is what I'm saying.
I know. I'm just playing with you. All
All
right,
right,
Callie
No,
Coughlin. That's
actually-
great. Yeah.
Kelly,
you're all-
I know you're new. We are actually pro Coplands. We think that this was a political slur that has just been perpetrated throughout the two rivers.
Oh yeah.
We are pro Copland. We do not like the blanket discrimination that is going on. So please, we're pro Copland.
Yeah, the way the Leafs official theory is that Bran Alvear started that as a political slogan to beat him because everyone remember.
Right.
I
said
officially am not agreeing with this stance.
We
I'm
think
just letting it be known
that
that
the
I'm the
mayor
dissenting voice here.
The mayor before Bran Alvear was a Copland, and he's like, "Are you guys done with all this Copland talk?" Even Perrin says, "Oh, it's just a bunch of Copland talk."
Hey, brother
It's
Dan,
like,
it takes a
what?
village to raise a child, but it takes a village to tear down a family name.
The Congressman Coplands go all the way back to
Goes
the
raise a child.
same way.
Wait, go on again.
I said I believe the Congress and the Coplands go all the way back to Manhattan, and they were the same way back then too.
Thanks, James.
That's what I think.
No,
they're
yeah. I still can't get over that whole scene when, like, you know, Winter's Night happens, and like, what was it? Like, basically, the Congers and Coplands come in, like, late to the party, walk through the devastation as if they can't even tell that anything's happening around them, and they ask for like food or something. Like, for reals, they sound like they're like imbeciles walking, like. Right, like they're touched. Their brains are not working well.
They're like the Emmonsfield Shaido.
Yeah, but
yeah,
the Shaido are worse. No, even you said the compliment. There's some redemption to at least
the Shaido seem pretty badass. They seem Aiel to me. I mean, maybe within terms of like Giotto and stuff, within like that like odd society that is the Aiel. They're ostracized and looked down upon. Roark even wanted to fight some of them, but for the most part, they're all like pretty good fighters, and they're all normal Aiel. They like still do all the hunting. They took Kyrie and like ain't no thing.
Oh my god, Dan!
What? They're tough. They're strong. Mas fuerte, man.
No, they're uniquely not smart. I mean, like, there's like.
Here's the other thing. Here's the biggest thing that you're not bringing up. The same reason you want to hate the Sean chain. The Shaido believe in slavery.
Yeah, bullshit. I thought they all did.
All the Aiel are at least aware that slavery occurs. The slavery trade does go through the waste to get to Shara.
But
all Aiel are complicit within it. So don't give me that.
dude, I think the Aiel are some of the biggest hypocrites in the whole book.
All
Like,
right, Beth, I see you getting upset.
well, here's the thing. If you're going to literally vilify an entire country of people because say that they have lifelong toe to them for something that one person did, like aren't they? Shouldn't they be complicit to everything that the Shaido did because they're IU? And should they be trusted by everybody because they're IU? Because one person did something? No, they're not.
All right, Beth.
You're killing me in chat. I think
Free
that's
Beth.
a
Free Beth. I like it.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch to say that all Aiel are complacent or complicit in slavery, because they looked at all wetlanders with disdain. The only wetlanders that they agreed to be sold into slavery were Kyrianan, and that's because they broke the water oath. And there is nothing more important to the Aiel than an oath. If you're an oath breaker, then you are nothing. You are less than nothing. And that's why they did it. It doesn't make it right. I'm not saying that it makes it right, but they are an honor-bound race of people.
And they're hella racist. I just realized. Wetlanders are disgusting
but this is the thing,
slur.
though. You have to think about where. I mean, again, and I'm going to always be devil's advocate if I can. Okay, because their role was their role for a reason. They were molded in the threefold land. They were groomed by their environment to become who they were. Strongest, the strength of the, what's that word? The fittest, the strongest of the fittest.
Prison.
Darwinism?
No. Like survival of the fittest is what I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
over millennia, their race was honed into being a spear point. That is the entire purpose of their race, of their nation, is to be a spear point for the Karakarn. So I do think that there's going to be some definite soul searching as a society in the fourth age, like redefining themselves, refiguring out who they are. Are they going to, or who's going to go back to the threefold land? We know the Shaido went back to the threefold land. Who's going to stay in the wetlands? But I think that you look at them permitting, and the other thing is also the Shaido, with the enslavement of the wetlanders as they were amassing all the people on the way to Malden, right, was definitely not cool. They didn't believe that wetlanders were worthy of Giotto. That's why they could never be, what's the word I'm looking for? What are they called? Gaishine. They could never be Gaishine because they were always forever going to be held in service because there's no year and a day for them. And that's why you looked, the other societies looked so down at the Shaido when they found out what Savannah was doing, because they don't expect wetlanders to adhere to Giotto because they don't understand what it is. It's an Aiel thing. The Aiel were totally secluded, had nothing to do with anybody unless they were a peddler or, somebody passing through, a gleeman. They had nothing to do with wetlanders for 3,000 years.
Purpose, at a threat of death. at a threat of death. So we have here,
Except for the
Glenn-
Kyrianin, 500 years before what's happening in our books, when they gave the branch from oh my God, I'm having problems tonight. Avendosora, thank you. When they gave the sapling, and then that was the, so
Morshadi has a good point. He says,
yes, I know. And God damn it,
culture
Shadi.
singles out a class of people for slavery just because of who they are, they should be vilified. Wait, are we talking about the IEO or the Shanshan? What is the difference?
Yeah,
the
difference is that the Aiel weren't taking slaves. The Aiels permitted slavery to happen. They weren't taking slaves.
The Shanshan were not taking slaves.
Yes, they were. They sold slaves at slave markets. That's how Aegeanin got Baal Doman. She bought him in a slave market.
Okay. Okay.
She purchased him.
She did.
Okay. I thought we were talking just about
I'm just talking about the fact that the Aiel, if they captured Kyrianin after the Water Oath was broken, then yes, they would take them to Shara. If they didn't kill them outright, they would take them to Shara and be like, you have your way with them. But they never kept slaves. There's a difference between a Gaishain and a slave.
So Beth, you have some military experience. Let's talk about political or military prisoners. So you capture people, and here are your options, right? You can either kill them, you can either keep them for bargaining of some sort. You can keep them as servants, I guess, which is what it looks like the Shaido do, or you could sell them to someone else. There's not a whole lot of options if you have a bunch of, or just keep them indefinitely as prisoners, which isn't much different than slavery. I mean, what's going on in Guantanamo? We still have people there.
So what's your question?
So what good options did the Shaido have for these military prisoners?
The Shaido weren't just taking prisoners of war. They were taking civilians. It's an entirely different thing. They were taking everybody that they could, and anybody that they thought would be a threat militarily was killed.
Do we see old people and kids in the Shaido camp?
They let the old people and kids go. They killed any men that were of fightable age or that had any kind of prowess. And they captured everybody else who was able-bodied.
I mean, that sounds like war, right?
No.
But I still don't understand what your question is, though.
So what good option do they have? I mean,
but this is the thing, though. Most combatants, right?
What the Shanshan do is just say, you say the oaths, all right, you're fine. That's not the Aiel way.
Well, what the Aiel did was worse.
Yeah.
Because the Shanshan wanted to, or what the Shaido did was worse. What the Shanshan wanted to do was integrate the existing society into their society. They wanted to absorb them. The Shaido wanted to subjugate them. There's a difference. They were using brute force to,
couldn't we say that the entire Aiel culture, though, encouraged this sort of superiority complex that the Aiel carried? Jansen, what do you think?
They wanted to be left alone.
They wanted to be left alone. And then when Rand came, they took, look at what they did at the Stone of Tyr. They took the fifth and then they left. They took their fifth and then they left.
Because greed has killed many more men than money ever.
So they have their ways. They take a fifth and then they left. They didn't stay as conquerors.
Do you think someone took a fifth of someone who already lost a fifth, though?
During the LA riots, I took a fifth.
Yeah. All right. You hear what I'm saying, guys. I mean, the Aiel, I'm not a big fan of their culture in general. I do not like Aiel.
Yeah.
The Shaido, I think, are a result of this sort of culture to a certain degree. This xenophobic, hateful, hey, you come here, we're going to take all your clothes and make you run in the desert.
mean, the Aiel, I think, are a lot like feudal Japan was when they were isolationists, and they didn't want any outside influence, or didn't, or were just not wanting. They had so many of their own problems that they thought any outside influence was just going to add to it.
I know,
And they're secretive,
yeah.
and I mean, think about the entire what their society is built on. I mean, but so they're xenophobic, but
Yep.
but
diversity makes it.
Can we
They're
call them
also-
racist?
but this is but okay, but once they're out in Randland in the Westlands, they still look at wetlander ways, but look at how the wetlanders look at the Aiel. It's prejudice. It's stereotypical prejudice. The people, the countrymen from the nations that we know from Randland looked at the Aiel with just as much disdain as the Aiel looked at them.
How about this? I think the Aiel have more experience with quote unquote wetlanders, which I have a poll out right now. Is wetlander a racial slur? Everyone get in. Let us know your feelings.
I like that, Ryan.
No, I the more and more I'm thinking about it, the more and more it feels like a racial slur. We might, as it showed, try and figure out a new word for it.
I think that black-eyed Aiel would be more racial slur than wetlander.
Oh, I think they're both. You make a very good point, Jansen. You make a very good point.
The only time
Although
wetlanders,
the black-eyed Aiel do actually have sharp teeth, and they had Fergie, right? The black-eyed
black-eyed peas Aiels. Okay, yeah.
The black-eyed peas Aiels. The Aiel, yeah. So
Was Fergie in Celebrity Big Brother?
let's get it started. I don't know.
What?
I did. Chris has been watching Celebrity Big Brother. I can't.
I am not either.
I've never watched that show, but
You'll be on it soon, Jansen.
Jansen, Jansen, I can't wait to vote for you.
Come on, you could have been on with Meta World Peace.
Really?
no thing.
This one, and then Ricky Williams is in there, but now he's like anti-weed. It sucks.
What?
He sucks.
I don't
What?
know.
Ricky
I know,
Williams, the guy
he
who ended his
sucks.
career to smoke
He looked
weed?
high as shit. He's like talking down on weed. Anyways,
Funny. Now he's into ayahuasca, I bet. Weed
all
is
right.
for
So
babies.
here's one more interesting take I have, and this is gonna make you excited, Jansen, because you've always talked with fondness about the strength of Seven Balwer. Okay,
Seven.
so here's a quote involving our friend Balwer, and here it is. "I don't see why I'd want them," he said to Ballward. "Well, my lord, there is so much of great interest to learn. For instance, it appears that many of the Shaido are ashamed of their clan's behavior. The wise ones themselves were at odds. Also, they have had dealings with some very curious individuals who offer them objects of power from the Age of Legends. Now, how the F does he know that?"
Yeah, how the hell does he find that out?
makes Jansen's proposition that he's like one of the most powerful people. Jansen, did you fall asleep? Jansen, wake up. All right. So yeah, that's a new person. So yeah, Seven Balwer somehow knew that what was it? Savannah or no, Tharava was meeting with Forsaken and was given objects of power from the Age of Legends. Jansen, how the hell would Balwer know something like that?
He found that out from the prisoners from Molden.
But how do they know that?
And he had that Chafael asking questions. We know who Seven Balwer is. He's just like Tom Maryland. He can piece all kinds of rumors and things together to form a story and usually the truth. So he found out, and he didn't know everything. He wanted to find out more. He actually tried to press Perrin to bring some of them back so we could talk to some of them because he wanted to know. And it was all about because of the Narbaha. Oh, there's a pooch.
Okay, so I thought that was a secret meeting. Like, I'm just.
You also
Okay,
have to remember that Sarava and what's her name? Savannah were openly talking about stuff in front of who they thought were Gaishine. So after Malden is liberated, all of the people that were personal servants of any of the people in power were free to spill all the tea. Not Fork Root. All the tea.
All the tea in the aqueduct.
So,
We're talking about the Shaido. Savannah's story is far from complete.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I mean, far.
No.
Anybody,
No. Oh, God.
if there's anybody alive that could be made Taco Vile of the Shanshan and work her way up from that, it's her. Because even in Eganen's POVs, they say, you make Taco Vale and attract the entrance of a noble and marry them and, get power. So that's Savannah to a T. That's exactly what she's going to do. And she may even, knowing her, she may even get to that point, buy all of the Shido Wise ones that they had, She could do a lot.
So I guess if we're going to start tying a bow on it, the Shido did not help the Aiel at all. At all.
No. They were a pain in the ass for every Aiel and a shame to be known.
Did the Shido fight in the Aiel War?
That is a really good question. And
I don't think so. Wasn't it just 4 clans?
But I think that if
Maybe societies, maybe some Shido from societies did.
Maidens might. It's possible.
Black eyes.
But as a clan, I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I could be wrong because I do not know a lot about the backstory of a lot of stuff. I like to read the books and I retain a lot of shit, but I don't know like the minutia.
Right. I mean, if you're in the Shido and the Black Eyes, like who do you hang with if you guys are going to battle? Do you hang with your team or your family?
It's society first. If you're with your society, it's society first.
But why would a society fight if they all have like gangs? Wouldn't they all just go hang out with their gangs?
They don't. They don't fight each other.
No, I mean, let's say they're going to go take a Kyrian. And they're like, all right, we're Shido, but there's like 300 stone dogs. There's 200 black eyes. There's a bunch of thunder boners. There's
Thunder.
Did you really say thunder boners?
There's like several doves and deviated septums. There's a bunch of like different clans or like fighting societies and some maidens. The maidens all hang out with the maidens, right? The maidens aren't going to hang out with Shido. They're going to hang out with the maidens.
They all do that though. The societies all act like the maidens do.
So that's what I'm saying. So Shido itself isn't that big a deal, right?
You have to understand though that a clan is hundreds of thousands of people.
It's
a huge society of people. It's not like there's 1,000 Shido running around, right?
And the societies are warrior societies.
Right. The societies are warrior societies.
Yeah, other people aren't in these societies. So
correct.
Like there's a lot of other people. There's weavers and farmers and blacksmith and children and peddlers. You remember the fair at Al Kurdal was gigantic. It was like a giant dead show.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't just Kadir's dudes. It was everybody else.
Yeah, and everyone traveled with their clan and then went to their people, right? They're like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my maidens.
All right, here we have Savannah. This is the last quote, but this kind of is relevant to modern politics. That was what everyone believed. It was part of the old tales, almost part of custom. Savannah was not so sure. These Aes Sedai looked weak and foolish to her, traveling with a few hundred men for escort through lands where the true Aiel, the Shaido, could smother them with thousands. The true Aiel. That's the type of like fanatical, right, like thinking that has been driving
really nationalistic. Yeah, I don't want to get too specific politically, but yeah, it is very nationalistic. It's very and that's why, that's kind of why I was asking, does the influence of the Shaido change the Aiel? And apparently no one thinks so, but I am not so sure. I think that maybe the Shaido itself, I'm not sure if everyone is going to need like wise ones to tell them they can go to Viridian anymore. Who knows?
I mean, but this is the thing, though. The wise ones that are surviving that didn't get captured, Thorava and her little group, right, that escaped from Malden, are still wise ones. And the other Aiel wise ones are going to respect them as wise ones, because that's what they've always done. Unless there's like a new covenant that happens and the fourth age that we don't know about. But they are always, wise ones are able to go into enemy camps and be treated with, you know what I mean? Like they're you hands off. They're wise ones. That's why Savannah was treated the way she was by the other wise ones, because the Shaido wise one said she's a wise one. That's why they were treating her like a wise one, because the Shaido wise ones were like, she's one of us. So all of the other wise ones were like, okay. So whether or not that changes in the fourth age, we don't know.
Yeah. That's go ahead.
The Shaido wise ones attacked at war. I think that is so bad. Yeah,
do the so we see that the Aiel Aja, I'm sorry, the Aes Sedai Aja may be changing their focus in this new age, right? The Reds, there's speculation they may be like the police or the, we talk about that. Could the Shaido have a role in the new turning of the age?
Yeah, a bad one.
Yeah. They're just gonna be nonstop January 6th with these people.
They're just flying.
We know they have
snake flags everywhere.
Like, we know they have a new clan chief. We know that they have wise ones scattered throughout the Shanshan. Any one of them who gets free could cause havoc. We saw what happened when one sea folk was let free in Ebudar. So with Savannah there and all the other, not to mention all the Dako Vale that are non-channelers that were captured, there's a ton of Shaido in Shanshan right now, or at least in Ebudar area and in Altera. So there's a lot of them still left. They can cause havoc everywhere.
But will they? Is the Shaido the id of the Aiel?
Yes.
Where they just go crazy and just.
I mean, Dan, how about this? Can you point to anything in the books that makes you think that they're gonna change besides your hope?
I think that when you rattle the dice cup and just throw a society against the wall like that, like Yahtzee, that sometimes the dice are still spinning and it's a bit weird. I think that they had a history as a culture of being the toughest guys on the block, the guys who walk into bars and can beat everyone up, the guys who can hide in plain sight
under rocks,
and it's hard to lose that. I mean, you're taking the karate master out of the dojo and I think that they're still itching for a fight sometimes. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Hey, let's wrap this. Speaking about wrapping this up, thank you guys for everyone for joining.
I've been up for the day.
Yeah, no, Jansen. Yeah, you're a hero. You're the best.
Yeah, what a good day for you, Jansen. The Browns won against all odds, and you're here.
I haven't slept in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speed is bad for you.
Oh,
Well,
Just kidding.
if you can't go to sleep tonight, just start live streaming. It
Just
seems
start
to
live
help.
streaming. Yeah. I'll jump on.
Hey, what's wrong with live streaming?
I'll jump on. Yeah, Beth, we'll jump
All
on.
right. Speaking of live streaming, all right. So, Beth, do you want to talk about
yeah.
Delving the Chronicles and
Yeah.
what else? And yeah.
So the next episode for Delving the Chronicles comes out tomorrow. So look out for that.
Cool logo.
We're having lots of fun recording, and there's Koala Sadai, who is a friend of the channel, has been fortunate enough to do a lot of traveling this year. So she was at WatCon and she was at MalkyriCon as well. So we've got some interviews with some guests that were also at MalkyriCon.
Oh, she went to MalkyriCon.
Yeah,
Fun.
she did. She's actually I think just got back to Australia yesterday or today.
Who knows? Yeah, they time travel. to go
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
So let's see what else. So tonight I have a new facet on my streaming channel. It's called The Wheel of Shenanigans. And it's literally a bunch of random ass shit that you can make me do. Like, you spend a little bit of channel points and you spin a wheel. And tonight we're doing a Fortnite edition. So we'll be playing Fortnite with some folks. And it's stuff like you can't get anything better
Is
than a
whipped
green
cream
weapon.
involved?
You can't use healing potions. You can't use shield potions. You can't kill anybody during the game. You can't land with your squad. You have to land on different parts of the map. So it's going to be really entertaining, really fun. And
Fortnite is fascinating to watch. You are a really great presenter and fun person to watch. If anyone hasn't watched Beth on Twitch, please do. You will really enjoy a lot of early morning streams on the weekends.
On the weekends, yeah, I stream in the mornings and the weekends. I just hit 1,500 followers on Twitch a couple weeks ago, and I'm just shy of 7,500 followers on TikTok right now. So,
guys,
things are going pretty well on the streaming endeavor. Thank you so much.
We love it. We love it.
Thank you.
Fortnite's fun to watch. Yeah. And Ryan, I saw on this PS5 that we could play on Discord, so maybe we'll start posting stuff here.
What? We can play on Discord?
Yeah, I saw it as an option.
Yep, you sure can.
Okay. All right. I don't. Yeah. That'd be fun. We'll talk. Sounds like a meeting. Sounds like a meeting's coming. All right,
Jansen, anything cool with you, man?
actually, not right now. And it's actually everything is dying down. We just threw our last party this weekend. We had some people from Africa here speaking. And now that that's over, we're about to get back. It's cooler, hot and out. It's about time to heat up. It's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Well done. Enjoy your week. Enjoy. I think the weather's going to be awesome in California this week. So enjoy
Fuck
it.
Mother Nature.
It's finally raining. The rain's coming tomorrow, Dan. Let's go, baby.
Gonna be in the 90s all week in Texas.
Oh my.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
no rain.
There's no rain.
I hear your sun rays are bigger. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger. Everything, Ryan. Have you seen their pigeons?
Let's not.
They're the size of Volkswagens.
All right. All right, everyone, run for your lives.
Oh my God, you
This
did
is
not.